A delicious chicken marsala that cannot be underestimated is one with capers in it. So good. Let me show you how to make it. We're gonna start off with about 6 to 8 ounces of mushrooms. These are portobellos, but you could use creminis, you could use white caps, whatever you have on hand. And then once you have them washed, all we're gonna do is cut them into thin slices, like so. Something along the lines of that. I like my slices just a little bit thicker over thin, just so they absorb a little bit more flavor, and I think they hold sauce a little bit better. Next, we're gonna mince 2 big cloves of garlic. In another separate bowl, take about a tablespoon of flour and a tablespoon of butter, and we're gonna mash those up together to make a roux. I like to use the back of my spoon to just gently press the butter into the flour, and eventually it'll all come together. It might look a little bit crumbly at first, but just keep going. Eventually all the flour will hydrate and you'll be left with this nice thick paste. I like to collect it all up right on my spoon like that, and then we'll set this aside for later. Next, we're gonna prepare the chicken breast. I like to cut the fat off mine and then I just butterfly it in half. But if you find this to be a hard thing to do, you can also just grab a mallet, cut this in half, and then pound yourself out 2 flat sections. Now tip both sides with a little bit of pepper, salt. Then get yourself a Ziploc baggie and put in about a half a cup of flour. And then get both your chicken breasts into the bag. And I find this to be just an easy way to coat the chicken with flour, which we want to do. Try to get every single crevice that you can. Once they're coated, dust them off, and you should have beautifully floured chicken breasts. With everything prepped, we can now get a skillet on the stove on medium-high, and we'll let that come up to temp. Once your pan's hot, we're gonna get about a tablespoon of olive oil in there, then throw in your mushrooms. You should hear them sizzle. Give them a pinch of salt, a little bit of pepper for taste, and then just move them around a little bit, and we'll let these sweat for about 5 to 10 minutes. Stirring occasionally, and you should see all this water bubbling and boiling out of the mushrooms. Once most of the water has evaporated or boiled off, we can go ahead and transfer these into a bowl for later. Return the pan to heat, turn it down to medium, and then put about a tablespoon of butter back in there, along with our minced garlic. Roast this for about 3 to 5 minutes on medium heat, just until lightly browned. With your pan back on medium heat, add another tablespoon of olive oil, and then gently place your chicken into the pan. Press it down just a little bit. After about 3 to 5 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and flip these once you see a nice golden sear on one side. Once your breasts are done, set them aside to rest. And we're gonna deglaze the pan with a couple tablespoons of Marsala wine. Make sure to scrape up all of our delicious fond that we just created. Once that's done, pour in about half a bottle into the pan, turn your heat up to medium-high, and add around a half a cup of chicken stock. We're gonna get this up to a rolling boil to boil off all the alcohol. You'll know once you smell it and it doesn't burn your nose that it's all boiled off. After about 5 to 7 minutes, your alcohol should be mostly burned off. Turn the heat down to medium and then put our roux in that we made earlier. We're gonna whisk that in until it's completely emulsified and incorporated. Now we're gonna let this simmer and thicken for just a few more minutes. Once it's reached about a nappe consistency, we're gonna go ahead and add our mushrooms and garlic from earlier. Mix those in, and then we'll leave that to simmer for another 3 to 5 minutes. Once your sauce starts to really thicken, kill the heat, add in a couple tablespoons of heavy whipping cream, a teaspoon of parsley, and about a tablespoon of capers. Mix that all together. And just like that, you have